Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Dom Pod. And today I'm joined by one of my favorite people, comedian Nat Harris and RRR breakfaster Nat Harris. Thank you so much for joining me. How are you, Dragon?
Yeah, and Wormy.
Wormy!
I was trying to remember why I refer to you as Wormy.
Have we figured it out?
No, but I think it was from a visual of you explaining how you want to retire on an old, like you see you spending your retirement on like in this rundown house on a like property and you're sitting on a rocking chair with a shotgun and all of these pit bulls or something. I've maybe taken some creative license there, and then you're like some old worm, and I just imagine this worm in a rocking chair and these like tiny strands of hair like blowing in the wind holding a shotgun and drinking, I don't know, let's say a Coke. But
Oh, fuck yeah.
I know, but that is the conclusion I've come to, which could be completely fabricated.
This is from the deep, dark recesses of our early 20-something-year-old minds as well, and I'm not too different today, man.
No.
Like, but maybe it could have been just looking like a glowworm every Sunday morning, just after a big night out, just going to the mirror like pale. You know, when fake tan was so in, but I never mastered it.
Well, you don't need to. You got beautiful skin.
But she grew up in a house full of girls. Like there would have been fake tan, like Slurpee machines in the house.
Everywhere. Yeah. What year did fake tan hit? Was that early 2000s?
Your year.
Yeah,
Whatever
my
year your year was.
Big time.
Girls.
And I remember Natural Glow was huge. When I discovered Natural Glow, it was a game. I would Natural Glow myself into oblivion. Like I was unrecognizable. I was like 2D. Because there'd be so much Natural Glow on me. I'd be shimmering like a disco ball in the sun.
Coming out of the ashes like a dragon.
Yeah.
Maybe that was when dragon came to prominence, your nickname? Like where did it come? Like fire breathing. I'm already crying laughing. I knew this was going to be a problem today.
I just straight up gave it to myself. I remember I think I was bored or looking for attention or something like that. And I was in high school and I texted my sister and I just signed off the text message Dragon. And then I wrote PS, I'm going to start referring to myself as Dragon from now on. And she told one of her friends, Sam Cav, and he thought it was really funny. So he's like, it just stuck. And then I just doubled down. And I just committed because people were like, the nerve. And I was young at the time. I would have been, I don't know, 17, 18? Or would I have been that young? No, I can't remember.
Like in high school? Meaning could a teacher have been like roll calling for Dragon?
No, it couldn't have been in high school.
Didn't get that kind of traction?
Didn't. But into uni. And then, yeah, there's still people who refer to me as Dragon, and I forget about that.
How do you feel when it's like, hey, Drags, you hear it like, or Dragon, like, do you respond?
100%. Yeah. It is. It's equally like hearing Nat. I would, it's quickly turn to that. And sometimes it's a problem because if someone's like, yeah, Dragon Ball Z, I'm like, and go to explain of why I thought they were calling me, but then I go, never mind, it's too long. Yeah. So it's been a while now. I've shed it a little bit, but yeah, it's still... Yeah, a lot of people. I'm solely Dragon too.
You're also known to many who fondly follow your stand-up comedy as Pussy Willow.
Pussy Willow. Wow. I'm so glad you brought it up. I was just on my way.
I had the absolute joy of witnessing and experiencing PW.
P-dub.
In the flesh last month?
Yeah.
At the Powerhouse?
Yeah, Molly Bauhaus.
What a vibe.
Yeah, isn't it?
Front row.
Oh, yeah.
And I was ready, willing, like under the lights of a UFO, just take me into your comedy.
Suck me up.
Suck me up.
Into the orb.
and you delivered like beyond.
That's so nice.
I nearly fucking died of laughing, and I think it was your fellow Triple R Breakfaster
Jason Moore.
co-host beside me, unaware to me.
I was concerned for you too. But you're right, you did cackle like in unison. And let's say it was an intimate crowd, but it felt like I was playing an arena with you two. Felt like I was just sold out Rod Laver.
Well, we really brought the giggles, but it was just easy. You're so funny.
Oh, that's
How
so
do
nice.
you fucking react when someone like some dildo like me is like, you're so funny. Like that phrase, you're so funny.
Oh, that's so nice. Oh, yeah, well, God, I freak out.
Do you?
Not freak out, but you go, yeah, how do you respond? You go, oh, thank you. I hope so. But, you know, it's the best. It's
Well,
so
I guess.
nice. Yeah, you're like, well, yeah, I put some time into it. Well, no, but it's especially with a character like Pussy Willow, because she's this character that I came up with. She's probably, I've done some other, I do stand up and other characters as well, but she would probably be my newest one that's really sunk her hooks in to me. And there's certain characters that they may have, you know, a flash in the pan, maybe a sketch or two in them, and people love them and you go, that's great. Like I had this character, what was his name? Clint. I can't forget, but he was a rock climber. He was a polyamorous rock climber who worked at a kid's like clip and climb.
Holy shit.
Anyway, yeah, backstory. But his whole gimmick was just asking people if they wanted apple or orange juice. Anyway, my point being, I'm rambling here, is that he was so fun. He had a backstory, but I'm like, he'll probably just stay there asking people whether they want apple or orange juice. Like that's his thing. But then Pussy Willow was one of those characters where I had a few funny little just ideas for, but then she's really kind of sunk her hooks into me.
She's got a fan base.
And yeah, she's become like an alter ego.
Will we get to see her again, do you think? Will she make an appearance maybe in the future? Like she's a stayer?
I definitely think she's a stayer.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. She's because she's obsessed with food.
Oh.
And so, I remember, I don't know why, but she compares herself, she's this character that she just is constantly listing all the times that she nearly died. She's like, I know you thought I was dead. I know you thought I died in safari in the Serengeti Desert. But you better believe it takes a little more than a tranquilizer gun and a rhinoceros to kill Pussy Willow. It's just like that time you thought I was dead when I rolled down the Sphinx in Egypt, or when I fell out of a helicopter in Dubai. But what can I say? I'm like a cat with 9 lives. And then I came up with, I'm like a soup de jour. They may change the flavor from pumpkin to potato to a minestrone to a bouillabaisse. And it just goes on and on and on.
Fuck.
And then, yeah, you can never, and her saying is, but you can never take me off the menu. And she always leaves the room saying, bon appetit and au revoir. So with that little role,
kills me.
it's just this weird thing that I just started playing with. And it could have just been one line, but I mean, we'll see how long I can get away with just talking about food and nearly dying in this voice. But I'm thinking she's kind of inspired as well of my love of soap operas and things like that. So I'm thinking a show will be around her set at a restaurant, because another show I did where Pussy Willow was in, she was always getting people to meet her at Casanova's Cafe at 8 p.m.
8 p.m.
Well, I'd love to see you in downtown LA. Casanova's Cafe. So I'm thinking I would love to do a show with Pussy Willow set at Casanova's. And here we go. This is an exclusive for you that no one will care about. But thinking working title is all you can eat with Pussy Willow.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Will I rule myself out of the family crowd? Should I tame it down? Should I tone it down?
No. Ramp it up. In today's world, I feel like everyone's going extreme, so you go extreme.
Yeah, okay.
No middle ground,
more.
fence sitting, just fucking hop on, dragging that, blaze it up.
Yeah. Put your foot on the accelerator.
Oh,
that's
she
the rev
would.
head in you.
She would.
What car do you reckon Pussy Willow would drive?
A Bentley, like an old roller, but a cheap one.
It'd be squeaking.
Squeaking, it would reek. Like real musty.
Real
and it's probably
seize.
gold. And she would have got it, like it would have been like the car back in the day when she got a check from one of her dead husbands or whatever her stories are.
Yes, and I feel like one of the tyres would be flat. She'd be scraping that Bentley into part, like just knocking off side mirrors left, right and centre.
Just has like one snow chain on one wheel that she's never been able to get off.
To get off rusted skis and a boot, one boot still on the roof.
One time.
Oh, yeah. And there's...
She went to fucking, Buller or Threadbro.
And there's a kid's seat in the back. And it's just like clearly not secured, rattling. It's just, God, if that car could talk, the things they would have seen.
She straps her vino into it.
Yeah. And she's got, what are the plates called when you, hobby plates? Oh, no, like she should only be driving it 100 days a year, or what's it called?
Oh, she's on the club plate.
She's on the club plate. But you know it's her daily.
On the red rego.
She's on the red plate. You know,
maxing it out beyond the 90 days.
Big time.
Or actually uses a pencil and an eraser.
The last time she filled out her log was in 1982 and she was taking it on the Spirit of Tasmania. And you don't even want to know what happened on the Spirit of Tasmania when Pussy Willow rolled up with her Bentley.
Oh, God. What about fucking, I don't know if I could give it away, but Meatloaf.
Oh, Meatloaf.
That bit of Pussy's bit, that sounds so wrong.
My God, no, we love it.
Honestly, I when you delivered that line, I'm like, my brain was like, all right, body ain't gonna cope. And I just could not stop laughing.
So that is actually, I almost feel guilty about that line is because it's almost based off, so this is the one when Pussy Willow met Meatloaf in the elevator and he says, hi, I'm Meat, nice to meet you. That was based off a friend. This guy worked who I met through a pub basically, and he worked as a roadie, and he was working on the setup when Meatloaf played the grand final at the MCG, and he met him in an elevator, and he said, hi, I'm Meat, nice to meet you. And in my mind, I always thought he didn't do it intentionally, but no, I think he was being funny. But I could hear that story over and over again, and that always just stayed with me. And there's some things that you just feel come out of your mouth and you go, oh, where did I get that from? And you go, oh, that's right. Someone told me that story. But so be careful what you say around me. But I'll be blurting your secrets out on stage. No, I wouldn't do that. And apparently they also said, because that was infamous, Meatloaf's performance at MCG.
Yeah.
For being terrible, wasn't it?
Yeah, and my dad was really pissed off about it.
Was he?
He's like, we paid this big American entertainer when we've got a homegrown talent here and he didn't deliver.
Yeah.
Dad's generation, the boomers were pissed.
Oh, he must be pissed.
Taxpayers' money.
He must be furious about Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg's coming out for this grand final. Is he? This GF, yeah, dropping like it's hot. Snoop Dogg.
Do you know what they're going to have to do? Like really lean in hard with firecrackers and everything else to disguise the plume of smoke, the reefer that's going to go on there. The footballers are going to be baked. They'll all fail their drug tests.
They're going to be, he's going to hotbox the MCG. Snoop, wow, they're looking a little slower on the ground. God, now that's a grand final I'd watch.
They start eating like the flag when they run through it, like slow-mo.
They're eating pies at halftime. Like, shouldn't they be hydrating? They're just blazing with Snoop. God,
I'm actually going to watch
that
it.
That would be refreshing. That would be a change up, wouldn't it? But yeah, no, I heard that apparently Meatloaf, this was from the same source who was working at the grand final, said that he was really nervous apparently and that he like drank like half a bottle of tequila. How good is that? Meat just chugging tequila before.
In the basement of the
MCG. And I feel like in my mind he's got no entourage anymore. No one's coming with me. Like, where are you going? That flight's too long. No.
It's just meat because he realises no loaf.
No loaf.
He's just the meat. That's no bread anymore.
He's just a raw piece of meat being flown to Australia, probably commercial, being rolled into an elevator and kicked onto the field. Terrible sound. I mean, the gig's infamous for being so tough and bad sound, I think. I don't know if it's anyone's... Yeah.
That's what they say.
That's what they say. Anyway, but apparently, because I don't know how long the set is that he had to do, but, you know, being a man from the generation he was from, Meatloaf was just used to performing his songs start to finish, you know? But they were like, no, we want like a medley. Like, we're going to mash your songs together.
Medley.
And we want a meat tray. We want to skewer you. We want to fry you on the BBQ or the MCG in front of however. How many people can you fit in the MCG?
Not enough.
Not enough. Anyway, and so apparently that really freaked him out. I love that I'm starting rumours. I could have... And he can't defend himself. R.I.P.
Oh, really?
Isn't he? He's dead, isn't he?
This is a really good question. He's gone, right?
I think so. He died of shame. No, I'm pretty sure.
That's so dark.
I know.
If that was his last
gig.
Performance. Fuck. Maybe we should zip it because we might not get Katy Perry back again.
Yeah,
She's like...
yeah. God. Oh, wouldn't that be a shame, wouldn't it? Her career's going from strength to strength.
I liked looking at myself in the reflection of her outfit. That's why I was like, got a good glimpse of my fucking life. Just by looking at it, I was like, I got to fix some shit. Thanks, Katie.
Thanks, Katie.
To the backdrop of Raw. I'm just looking at myself like in the reflection of the TV in a fucking vajazzled vagines.
Shit. Yeah, anyway, so I got sidetracked, but that's where the Meatloaf line came from.
You are so funny to me because I wore this T-shirt in honour to you, not only because you are a host on Triple R and I love discovering new music.
Yep.
These ones, rad and been around for a while.
Big time.
Now, the weird segue with me wearing this T-shirt here is because just before COVID, Rage Against the Machine announced a world tour, right? And it was like electric.
Okay.
I've done all these stories in my Subaru Forester, like, nothing's going to stop me from seeing Rage Against the Machine. I'm so excited. I'm not coping. I'm going to clear the calendar. And literally then COVID hits, okay? And it's like, that's still one of the, forget the fact I lost my job, forget the fact I had to move interstate, forget the fact of all the fucking bullshit, Rage Against the Machine not coming was like the worst thing yet. What we had to keep us going was comedians like you turning to social media to keep us entertained. And oh my God, the home makeup girl with the hair clips. And the skits with Jess, your sister.
Oh, Lynn and Sal.
How was COVID for you and not being able to do stand-up? And I mean, so is that when you lent more into social media, and how does social media help you as a comedian? It's an interesting space.
Yeah, it is, definitely. Honestly, so it was right before when COVID was called and we went into lockdown in Melbourne. God, this feels like such another time. But
Sorry.
No, please. But it was right before Comedy Festival. And I was prepping to do a show as that influencer girl. And it was going to be called Under the Influence.
Oh.
But I was wildly underprepared. So I hadn't done any character shows in the Comedy Festival yet. And that was going to be my first one. And so I felt like I was in just unknown territory. What's the thing with the waters? What do you know? Unknown waters or uncharted waters?
Uncharted waters.
That's what I was looking for. So I was reaching for. And so we were about 2 weeks out from the Comedy Festival, and that is the time where, as a performer, and I'm going to speak for majority of comedians, where you're like, I would do anything to get out of this. Fucking hell, what have I done? Really? What have I done? Well, if you may be getting a new show together, yeah. Maybe you've got a great show, you've run it in. Look, maybe there's a 20% who are done all the right things. And this was when I wasn't as well doing it as like professionally maybe as I'm doing it now. So yeah, I was just a bit more of a sheet in the wind, kind of like, I'll figure it out. But the panic had well and truly set in. And then I went to another comedian's trial show, and I remember speaking to someone and they were like, I don't even think the Comedy Festival will go ahead. And I go, surely not. Like, surely it'll happen. You know, I just hadn't really checked in. I just was thinking it was going to be fine. And then I went for a drink with a friend and got the text. It's like, Comedy Festival's been cancelled. I was elated. I was
dragging with the facts.
I was so relieved. I cannot tell you.
Holy hell, that's a story.
And not necessarily, like, you know, I would have been fine. And yeah, now actually there's enough distance from it. I'm like, I would have loved to have done a show as that character. And I wonder if I could have pulled it off.
You would have. You're a professional.
I don't know.
You've been around the world doing stand-up.
I mean,
countless hours, days, years, decades.
I could have definitely undercooked that. And look, it could have all been fine. And yeah, you'll never know. But at that time, I was like, phew. And I had the time of my life. For the first couple of months of lockdown, because I was just chuffed to be at home.
Yeah, well, you're a Cancerian.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of,
yeah,
I got you a little fun toy. I couldn't find a crab.
Oh my god!
But he's close to. He's a sparkle salamander.
Oh my god! What a treat!
You needed him. They're just little stress toys.
Oh my god, I
just
love
thought
them.
you can crack him open, name him.
Can I?
Yeah. So
how's
you,
this Blackie in the
Cancerian, as much as you love being out and about performing, it was an opportunity to be at home?
Well, I think so. And I think as well, I wasn't prepared for the festival. And and when you are doing, because it's 22, 23 shows when you do a full festival run at Melbourne. In Edinburgh, it's even more. In Melbourne, you get one night off a week. But in Edinburgh, which is just finished, Edinburgh Fringe Festival, finished end of August, you do every night.
For how long?
For like a month or like 3.5 weeks. So it's...
How many times have you done that?
I've done Edinburgh once and I've done Melbourne heaps.
Can we go back in time to you going to Edinburgh?
Yeah, of course.
Like the beginning? How you got into it? Like, sorry to jump in and hijack.
No, not at all. I went to Edinburgh Fringe as a last minute decision, and I went because a show I'd done for a stand-up show, which was about my dad dying, which was called Good Grief. I got development funding from Screen Australia to turn that into a web series. And so we shot like a proof of concept for that, like a trailer. There was scripts. I was working on it with my sister, who's also a writer and comedian. She doesn't do, and an actress, Jess.
Hey Jess.
Yes.
Salmon.
Yeah, the nicknames are plenty, which is how I met you, Don, I guess. And I got
through those messy years.
Yeah, gosh.
Salmon, dragon and wormy, what a feast.
Big time. Watch out. What a trio. But so
Good grief, you.
yeah, did the show and was working it to develop it into a web series, and then it kind of lost traction. And it was like straight after, it didn't look like it was going to get funding. And so we're like, how do we kind of keep it relevant and moving so we can keep pitching it? And it was just off the back of Fleabag. So Phoebe Waller-Bridge's show Fleabag was a one-woman show at Edinburgh Fringe. And so it was like, okay, well, if I go, I remember the producers who I had on board were like, oh, look, if you go and do the Fringe, you know, it'd be great, see if you can get some reviews and positive responses, and could be a way as well that we can keep pitching it. So I went quite last minute and I did it in the free Fringe, which is incredible, where you don't have to pay any upfront fees and you just get a venue, a mic, and you know it's free to come to your show. But then at the end you have a bucket and you do a bucket speech and you tell people why you did this show, and people then can give you money depending on what they thought it was worth.
Baby Reindeer, is that a real thing when he had the bucket?
Yes, that's exactly it. That was free Fringe. Baby Reindeer is such an accurate representation of the Edinburgh Fringe.
Really?
In terms of the free Fringe, and when you're kind of trying to do a show and you're in a pub, they'll rent out any space in that goddamn city. They're like, here's your room, it's a cupboard. And you'll be like, well, okay. We can fit people in there. We'll put an effing show in there.
What does it feel like?
It's some days it is just the most exhilarating experience ever, because you go, I remember I was in this place, it was kind of like it wasn't a permanent, this old building at the end of like the main drag. It was called the Tollbooth Theatre from memory, and I was in this like little addict's room that you could fit quite a few people in, and my show was on at 5 p.m, so it was on quite early. It was summer. I would literally round people up. I'd be like, who's here for good grave? Yep, come up. Round them up the stairs, and then I had a mic by the door, and I'd announce myself in. Like, no one's there helping you. You're just ushering them in, herding them in, and then I'd kick this old door closed, announce myself up on stage, and then go up. And I could have, and there was no show after me. I remember the act stopped turning up because they just maybe had enough. And I was like, I could have done 2 shows back to back. Like, it felt lawless. Like, I could do whatever I wanted up in that addict. I could be running a secret little sideshow, me and my bucket. Like, and so it was so much fun, and it made you so resilient.
Is it a rite of passage thing? Is it something that comedians all should go and do?
I think so, if you want to, you know what I mean? It's very much, Australian comedy scene is very much plugged into the Edinburgh scene, because we work up material to make an hour show, and we're used to doing that on a regular basis. They do that over in the UK. This is broadly speaking. In the US, completely different. They'll spend a lot longer working up their hour shows, materials. It's kind of maybe not so much how they work. And yeah, so it's interesting seeing American acts in Edinburgh as well, because the cultural shock is bigger, I would say, for them.
For them?
Americans, yeah. Because they don't have the same weight or pull over there.
Oh, that's fascinating.
And this is, again, broadly speaking and from my observations, but, you know, it's quite common to see, you know, people who would be on big Netflix shows and stuff like that, or maybe not the main characters, but that will go take a show and you can see them maybe get ripped to shreds.
Well, it's
with reviewers and stuff like that.
Oh, the savages. Yeah.
Just because they're famous in the US, it's a bit of a different culture. They're like, we'll decide if you're funny, not just because you're on TV. And I think that there's a bit more of a crossover with the UK and Australian humour, but still it is different. It holds a higher currency maybe over there to be funny and to tell a good story. They definitely... That's my perception. That's what I took. They were a bit harder to make laugh, for sure.
Nat, that's such an insight, because you think...
I mean, it might not be correct, but that's how I felt.
Well, it's an opinion and it's a point of view, and you've had that lived experience doing it. that there's so many different layers to comedy, and now with, streaming services and Instagram, it's almost like anyone with a phone can just start making reels and getting a following and who knows. But oh my gosh, I have to say, because I'm a big fan of America. Yeah. I've never been to Canada. If you ever go to those places, can you please let me know? Because I just want to come along.
Yes.
I just think those audiences would just die laughing because you really do epitomise everything Aussie. You play AFL. You love Aussie rules. You play basketball.
Oh, God.
You bicycle around. I think maybe you skateboard. Like there's something very Melbourne Australian about you. Like I'm surprised you haven't come with like a gum nut arrangement in your hair today. You're just true blue.
Oh,
God. And I think, do you find that your humour is very true blue? Would you say it's quite in tune now with Australian audiences?
I don't know. I don't think so, because it's like I I suppose, I don't know when sport became such a big part of my identity, but God, like sometimes I look at my social media, I go, God, I'm a sportaholic. I'm playing table tennis, I'm playing footy. But like I'm not good at any of those things. I just like getting around in a fun way, I guess. And I couldn't, it's not like I know all the football players' names or anything like that. So no, I think my humour, I don't know where it sits, and maybe it's a problem I should have figured out by now, but I feel like like a lot of comics, I think, bit of an outsider and a bit of a weirdo. And my humour, I think these days tends to go more to the surreal. Like, well, talking kind of nonsensical stuff like Pussy Willow. But it might start from something real. But I don't know. I think
Oh, well, Miss Hampton, I saw you at the comedy pageant.
Yeah.
Hilarious. You look stunning in blue. Blue's your shade.
Blue's it, baby.
Oh, the blue satin ball gown. And that was so on point.
Okay.
Being a Bayside girl.
Yes, Bayside. Yep.
Knowing what the Hampton lassies can be like.
Big time.
I mean, that was really relevant to Melbourne humour, and you just nailed that out of the park. You did win. You were like, you were getting all like, what do you call those sashes?
Miss Congeniality. And then I came runner-up. So in my mind, second and second.
It's really funny, Nat, because in preparing for this interview, I had all of these questions that I wanted to ask you about your childhood and being raised with your sisters and your amazing mum, your late father, John, who I knew well and loved and worked aside in the cafe.
Loved you.
And then I think he tolerated me. And then I think when I went and saw your stand-up, the Pussy Willow show, it was an incredible storytelling journey that was done so beautifully, and it was very poignant. It was very moving. You broke out of the character of Pussy Willow into very insightful stories about your youth. And what I learned about your father, and I bring this up because my car audience will be like,
where's the car?
Yeah. Something that I'm segueing a little bit.
Yeah.
But when I think about you and your amazing sisters and youth, I always think about the Kombi vans. Your dad and your mum drove these Kombi vans, and then you were driving these Kombi vans to all the music festivals.
Yep.
And in your comedy show, it was a really beautiful thing that you mentioned that it was at John's funeral that his mechanic spoke. And it was a relationship that your father had with his mechanic that was so close and like a real friendship. And I found that it really resonated with me and then my world and how close we form these friendships with people who are doing services for us, and particularly those beloved Kombis.
Oh.
Talk to me about everything that I've just touched on.
Well, yes. So Tony, Dad's mechanic. I mean, he would just go and hang out by the end of it. I remember, so my parents weren't together, and I remember Dad would get out there and date for sure. And he and
was
my
a
mum were
good-looking
friends.
rooster.
And then he met a woman online who lived in Tasmania, and it was Tony, his mechanic, who told him to take the leap. I remember picking Dad up from the airport after he'd just gone down to visit her for the first time. And he's like, I was just chatting with Tony, He said, do it, John, do it. Love is found while the Kombi's getting serviced. Oh, look, it'll be another 2 weeks. But, that he would just go and hang out. It was, we would borrow the car. So Dad had a 1974 orange Kombi, and Mum had a 1989 Transporter.
Ah,
Yes.
it was a transporter.
It was a
Got
transporter, and that had a bit more grunt to it.
Of course it did. Gale.
Yeah, come on,
Gale
it's Gale.
with the grunt. Places to be.
And Mum's drove better than Dad's, but Dad's looked better. That was the thing.
trade-offs.
And when me and my sister used to be like trying to debate who would get what Kombi for the festivals. And be like, oh, Dad's looks better. It's got the new spray, like the paint. It's brand new. It's the 70s, quintessential. It's got a better sound system. Mum's didn't have speakers. You had the BYO speaker. But, I mean, they both broke down multiple times.
Did they?
Oh, yeah.
On the way to the
Are you kidding
festivals.
me? Are you kidding me, Tom?
Tony.
Yeah, Tony.
I love, by the way, Tony, I love, I can just picture this, in the mechanic's overalls, just grace and wisdom.
Yeah. And
What a
he
mentor.
drove a Mazda, by the way.
Yeah, because he's smart and it's a reliable car.
Exactly. I think most people, it's like they love the Volkswagens, but then they learn that quickly they're very expensive and they break down a lot. They really do live up to their reputation, the Kombis. And Dad loved them because it's like joining a club.
Well, he was a free spirit.
He was a free
too.
spirit, and he loved the community that came with the cars. Like you would know that, seeing fellow Alfa Romeos on the car on the road. Sorry,
Yeah.
It was like joining a sports team, but without having to do any training. You just do the wave over the steering wheel. He lived for the wave. He would put thousands and thousands of dollars into that van just for that effing wave. He'd be like, well, it just paid for itself.
And what if people didn't wave back? That would have cut
They
deep.
always did. Kombi's way back. He desperately so he bought my sister an old 90s Golf, like the real boxy ones, convertible.
Oh, Clueless?
Oh, no, that was a Jeep. Or did it don't
Clueless was V-dub. Wasn't it a Golf?
maybe not the main character. What was her name?
Alicia.
Cher, yeah.
Silverstone?
Yeah, she drove a Jeep, but
Yeah, maybe I got it wrong. Mean Girls, maybe.
Yeah.
In one of those movies, there was that. I know the one.
The boxy Golf,
Yeah,
not the
Marks,
new one.
whatever they are.
Yeah, it was a cool car. It was a black one. And he bought that for her, and he wanted to buy me a Beetle, a Volkswagen Beetle. He was like,
course.
please, Nat, I want to buy you a Beetle. I just think it's you. It's such a good car. And I had to beg him not to because I knew all too well. I'm like 3 kind of vintage, would you call it 90s, old kind of Volkswagens in the family is enough. Like I've spent that much time on the back of a tow truck. I don't
But also Punch Buggy. Remember the game Punch Buggy?
Yeah, no returns.
But it's no returns. But that would have lined up perfectly with the formation of Dragon in a Beetle in Bayside.
You'd hear me
Bayside
coming. And because you'd have to rev so hard to get Dad's Kombi going, like to pump the petrol through. You'd be stalling as you reversed out if you're on a hill. Like you needed to factor in 45 minutes to every commute to like start and park that thing.
What about at
No
the
power
festivals?
steering. I mean, that's where they shone. I mean,
Talk to me about how the Kombi was the hero at the festivals.
Oh, gosh. I mean, it was just the best. You'd just roll in. People would always save you a spot, especially if you had Dad's Kombi, because it was a great marker for the campsite for everyone. It's a visual beacon. Visual beacon. Yeah.
Particularly at a festival.
At a festival because it was bright orange. And then it had a great sound system and it had a fridge. So you were getting prime location. So there was no need to get up super early to get to these festivals. So you're like, they'll save me a spot. And we needed a bit of extra time because it would take, again, like an extra hour or two.
I can just hear the sound.
It sounded like a lawnmower. And I remember driving into Meredith one year and it's like, a single lane going into this town and into this festival. And we just singing. I can't remember what we were singing, something obnoxious. The music up so loud. And she's like, don't look in the rearview mirror. Because the entire festival is banked up behind us. And they would have been, but there's a bit more goodwill and love towards the Kombi, isn't there? Like people take you over and toot and you're like, whoa. You're like,
because also, if they start monstering you and abusing you.
They're not getting a cocktail at the party outside the van.
Exactly. And who does that to a Kombi? Like what asshole throws shade at a fucking bright orange
Kombi.
70s Kombi?
With
like,
two redheads in it, like matching.
A sordid weirdo.
Yeah, you'd have to
like life's pretty shit.
Wicked witch. Yeah. But I identify with witches, so it's the witches in the van.
We've had some good witch parties.
Yeah, love a witch. So they were the absolute best. But then, it happened a few times of being like, damn it, you had to switch the battery. You had to switch from the one battery to another to operate the fridge, and
you're different phases. How do you do that when you
forgot to switch the battery? It's broken down, jump starting, getting towed out. What's the belt? What's the belt in a motor?
Well, it depends. Like
the fan belt.
Yeah,
I feel like that. I snapped that in Mum's. That was expensive.
But you would have been like snapping minds and hearts in that Kombi at the festivals.
Like,
Where is the Kombi?
So Jessica sold the Kombi. So my sister drove it for years.
Yeah.
And then she sold it. And then Mum has still got hers.
Oh, Gail kept
Boston
it.
Bun, but she is going to sell it. I know, which is devastating. But I have been a real advocate for being like, well, you're selling a car at the moment.
I am.
A vintage car.
Hard.
It is hard, but it takes a lot of work, a lot of upkeep.
Yeah.
And I think that they give you memories, amazing memories and experiences. And it doesn't mean there won't be more.
No, I've just got to make new memories in new cars, and that's like the clone. Our dad and I just got so like deep into the racing habit that we had the Julia Sprint GT 99 Big Red. Everyone knows that that's the car that I raced for like a decade.
Yeah.
And then being so unreliable, we're like, well, we'll just make a clone so we can push one out. So again, like Dom's chances of like home ownership just fucking dying, growing wings.
I didn't know you cloned.
We cloned it. So we had two. And then we had like, and anyway, and that was really, really fun and that was awesome. And then I decided to kind of, for various reasons, pull back from racing during COVID and a whole bunch of other fucking reasons. And then just now we decided to move her on. Her name's Clover. But she's got the race number 105, which is amazing because it's a model. It's a 105.
Yeah.
And she's a beautiful car and she just needs to go to a home that's going to use her. It needs to be used. Mm-hmm. So she's just sitting around. So yeah, cars for me, God, I got to say, whenever I see a Saab, I think of you.
Love Saabs.
You are a Saab girl.
Well, I'm only a Saab girl because, Mum and Dad, again, had matching cars. Dad always used to copy Mum, by the way. But Mum, when I was in primary school, I remember she started her own business and a children's clothing business. Anyway, she was quite successful and she was like the first thing she wanted to buy herself was she bought herself her dream car. Or I don't know if it was a dream car, but a car that she'd always wanted. She bought a secondhand red Saab 900 and that was the coolest car and they had leather seats and it's on all the indicator and everything's on the opposite side, European.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that fucks with you.
They're really low and heavy cars. And I just
built like brick shit out.
built like a brick wall.
Swedish brick.
Yeah, like
they
you could
are
not.
made. So that bright red Saab, but
Yes.
yours was blue or green.
Oh no, so it was white actually.
Yours was white.
Yeah, well,
Well, I
it
was
never
pretty cooked back in the day.
Yeah,
Had a Saab.
So it was, and it was never it was Dad's really that I could drive on again, off again, would take custody of, which was very generous of him. But yeah, the Saabs, I still have such a soft spot for them. I think they're amazing, especially the Saab 900. Like I love the shape. And then they kind of went in. Yes, there was a green one, sorry, as
There
well.
was.
And then
Thank
that was
God,
more of
I was like, fuck, I'm losing my brain.
You're right. There was a so
was a
few
few.
Saabs in the family, but there was a green one. Sorry, God, I
Oh,
haven't thought about that in a while.
Forgiven. I mean, between us, our families, there's been so many cars between all the children and then the parents and
What are your what types of cars? Too many to list.
trouble. Just too many. Okay.
Yep.
Whatever question you get asked as a comedian that irks you, my irky question is, so what's your favourite car?
Oh, okay.
When someone asks me that, I'm like,
You just how do you get out of it? You go look over there.
depends on the mood.
Yeah.
But it's just like, because I'm so addicted to so many cars.
Yeah.
I mean, where do you stop and start? To the point where at times my response could be borderline abusive to someone like, what the fuck? Why?
How dare you?
Fuck would you ask me that? Like on a date, right? If I ever got on Tinder again, I'd be like, don't fucking ask me what my fucking favourite car is. Like that's all I'd write.
Yes.
And I'd probably swipe and find your old rock climber Clint on there.
Yeah, big time.
You'd be like, well, apple or orange juice,
Yeah,
you
apple
know?
orange when you're driving. What's your favorite car? Okay.
And that's a really mean thing to say, but
No.
it's like 20 years on, it's like sometimes I just say Tesla.
Yeah.
And people go, and I'm like, or
or a Barina. you
Barina.
force
I
me.
actually loved Barinas.
Do you?
I loved them. I
Yeah.
wanted it.
They had a
bright
great marketing campaign, didn't they?
beep, beep, Barina.
Yeah.
Well, they were the good old days, you know, and just circling back to your dad, your late father, John, beautiful man. I think about John as I do a lot of my friends who have lost their parents and untimely, like, you know, gone far too young. You know, he had a megawatt smile. And your family's always been so generous when you guys had the cafe in Hampton Street. I worked there in my early 20s just before going to Dubai, or was it back from Dubai? And then came back from Dubai on my ass and
I think you'd just come back.
it was just like crisis central for me. It was just so much to unpack there. But then I found myself in hospitality again. And hospitality is a really fun place, an important place to work.
It's true.
If you're battling some shit, I found working in hospitality in my 20s, and I worked in my 30s after my divorce in America. Gee, talk about fucking like banged up abroad when you think about it. Please. But you got to get rid of your shit and be there for the customer.
Yeah.
And you learn to smile and you learn chit chat and you know, I think where I'm trying to go with this is you spent many years in hospitality and
so many.
did a lot of these early years, these formative years of yours working in that customer facing role, like underpin a lot of your writing and your comedy, not only support you in the mission of doing it because of flexibility, but just interactions with people. Like, were you constantly like, oh, fuck, that guy's a character.
Yes.
This is a skit.
And not so much, maybe in the early days wasn't so conscious, but yeah, it's what has come out completely. Like the character I play with my sister, Lynn and Sal, is a complete like manifestation of all of the people and women in particular I served in Bayside in particular. And it's like this channeling of, because hospitality is amazing and it's a social job, but it is also so fucking draining and it does build up. You get this rage, the rage you talk about in terms of being asked about the cars, like what's your favourite car? I don't know. You just feel open slather and there's nowhere to hide sometimes in hospitality.
Oh, true.
And especially in those years in Bayside as well, where you kind of knew everyone and you just were constantly being asked questions about yourself. I don't know loved it, but then you do hit a point where you go, I've had enough of these fuckers. Or it's like if anyone looks at me the wrong way, like they are going to cop it. You do cop a lot of shit in hospitality. But then now I'm on the other side of the counter and you realise as well sometimes you cop it from the people behind the counter. And I would have been dishing out some attitude for sure some days.
Do you reckon?
Big time. I could be incredibly friendly or if you got me on a bad day.
The face.
Yeah, you'd be watch out. Yeah, I got it. One of my last jobs in hospitality, I got caught eye rolling someone. And the man said, don't you roll your eyes at me. And I said, well, I can, and I did. And then he wrote an email to my boss.
An email.
It turned out
how the fuck do you find the email address for a cafe for starters?
Anyway, but where was I going with this? Yeah, so that definitely, it's like a bit of a rage because these characters are ripping into, in a way, or parodying these kind of self-entitled women. That was definitely born from
baby chinos.
Yeah, baby chino, big time. And yeah, just how people maybe don't realise it, how you just feel like you're just there to answer their every whim. You kind of are in a way, but then you go, I'm only getting paid $22 an hour. Like, where's the line?
Where's the line? But, speaking of lines, not those naughty ones, but the ones that you ended up getting paid to do, becoming a writer.
Yeah.
So you eventually ended up writing for TV. You got those gigs. Talk us through those.
Oh, yeah.
That was cool.
Oh, well, yes.
Weren't you writing for Rove?
Oh, it was writing for the project. Yeah.
Sorry,
no,
I'm going to reframe
okay.
that.
Don't be silly. No, don't reframe it.
I will.
No, don't you
Cut
dare.
that out, Rove.
But yes, got a job, writing for which was TV. So you just write all these different variations of jokes and one-liners for the different people on the panel, which was a huge learning experience and so cool. And, say what you will about, the show and the project is all wrapped up, but it was, a huge training ground for so many comedians and offered, amazing experience.
I viewed you like Tina Fey. I was like, she's like 30 Rock.
Oh,
like
God,
she's got the gig. Like she's writing for a TV show. But it also like illustrated to me the people on camera are not writing their own jokes often.
I mean, some do, but there is writers behind, I would say, most kind of shows, formats like that. Hosts, they've got, any comedian you think about, all the American comedians that you love, they would have a team of joke writers behind them.
For real?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, when you get to a certain level, for sure. Have you watched Hacks?
I really want to.
You got to watch.
It's on my list because I'm a new fan of Robbie Hoffman. Is she in that?
Oh, is she? I think so.
Is she
in the latest
PA
season
or something maybe?
Yeah, and she got the low ponytail and the glasses really dry. Yes, she's amazing. Yeah, my sister just sent me her Instagram the other day.
Yes, I'm like a new fan.
Yeah.
Obsessed.
Yeah, she's the big breakout of the latest season.
Okay,
yes.
got it.
But yeah, and look, that just comes from a gig like that, comes from doing stand-up and getting someone there. The type of jobs that I guess don't really get advertised, but someone putting your name forward. And they're like, yeah, give her a try. And you go in and you do it. And yeah, they're kind of few and far between in Australia. I mean, the dream would be, I think, the setup they have in the US, where there's just a lot more money kicking around and opportunities to get into writers' rooms for sure.
Do you think it's changing now though? Because honestly, I can't keep up with the amount of content that there is out there. I could just go on a holiday for 6 months and stream all these incredible shows across all the platforms. In many ways, do you think it's with all these streaming platforms, it's more accessible for people to put their work out there? Like I'm thinking back to when your sister Jess did 20-something. That was such a huge production, right?
Yep.
And now I feel like doing that is more accessible for people who write for them. Comedians?
I mean, yeah, it's kind of a weird thing. Yeah, we've never had more content or more ways to watch things. But in Australia, I mean, I'm only speaking from personal experience, but I mean, it feels like there's just fewer and fewer opportunities, like all the pathways to get funneled into those opportunities to pitch shows. It feels hard. But again, this is just from personal experience. But at the same time, social media, you were asking about that earlier, you know, that plays a big role and it is giving rise to a whole lot of different creatives, and it's the breakdown of the traditional gatekeepers, if you will, in terms of content. Anyone can put it out there and there's pros and cons to that. But I don't know, it used to be, it's a tricky one. I mean, I don't like to be so negative, but I feel like...
I don't think you're being negative, you're being realistic.
It feels really hard in Australia, and I feel like there is not enough funding, and that... And then even if you do get an opportunity, then the hoops you have to jump through, and it's kind of this idea of you were so lucky to get an opportunity, then you will kind of bow to whatever demands are presented, and creative expression and authority. I don't know.
I see what you mean. So then you start morphing your shit to suit what's available. So you're kind of like constraining yourself a bit. And again, like I haven't had to do that in a long time, but there is a comedy trio, quite successful. They've had a show on ABC and Netflix called Auntie Donna. Okay, Auntie Donna.
Yeah, and they do this kind of absurd, surreal sketch, and, you know, they've got a big kind of following online on YouTube, and, they've had these shows, but they kind of have just come out and said they're going to try to start putting some money from their work back into commissioning some other local comedians.
That's really lovely.
And releasing it on YouTube, because there's just this lack of space to grow or be experimental.
That's sad to hear that.
Yeah, but
we need it more than ever. We need you guys.
Well, exactly. But there is just that bit of a gap maybe to work up content or a following and then translate that into the mainstream. I don't know. It feels like there's maybe a bit of a step missing in Australia, and that, you know, if you want to do comparisons, maybe it's a bit more in the culture and the shows and the comedy they make in the UK, and you know, they've got the comedy blaps, which is like commissions, kind of shorter sketches from up and coming comedians that can then be a stepping stone to getting a show on the BBC, and they seem to be a bit more open to more experimental comedy. But so, God, I've gone on a bit of a rant there.
No, I love it. It's really fascinating insight into the industry.
And there is
a lot of people don't know.
And there's a lot of content and a lot of streaming services, but a lot of the shows are just jumping around from one service to another.
Really?
Yeah, like you might get binge because you really want to watch one show, and then it'll be on there for a couple of months, and then it goes over to another service. And there is a lot of kind of mid-range content in there, but there's also
Love the face.
a lot of excellent shows out there. But there's also a lot of crap, you know, that's just jumping on the bandwagon.
Do you know what I'm finding? I don't know if it's because I'm 40 and we lived through the pandemic and we're all so isolated and da-da-da-da-da-da. I am just craving coming to shows. I am just so over screen time.
Yes.
You know, I actually haven't been able to sit down and watch a show since Christmas where I binged Virgin River.
Okay, I haven't watched it. I got questions. Haven't heard of it.
Oh my God, it's just, oh my God. It's like a soppy romance, right? And so this year I don't have focus to watch anything.
Yeah.
And I'm just so eager to get out there and go to shows. And I'm absolutely fascinated by the life of a stand-up comic like you. And I'd love to know, what is it like? Can you share with us, what's it been like, your trajectory from the first time you stepped on the stage to some funny incidents that you can recall in your learning journey where you're like, fuck, I'm not entirely sure I can keep doing this, or those wins where you're like, yeah, that's really satisfying. I just got to keep doing this. Like, what's it like on stage?
I mean, yeah, that's a great question. I mean, I got hooked on it because it's exhilarating. It's an adrenaline rush, which I think you'd be able to relate to with your car racing, your days on the track. And so if anyone ever expresses interest in doing it, I think I go, oh, you just got to try it. And so the first time I did it was I told two people who were kind of not really I didn't see them often. I don't know why I invited them. But I basically didn't want to invite anyone too close to me. And I wrote 5 minutes, and I was operating off the advice, which I think was such good advice, was don't try be funny, try be interesting. Like to go into this gig not too desperate for laughs. And so my aim for getting through the first gig was just to not make the audience want to curl up and die for me. And I did it at a room called Crab Lab, which was on a Wednesday night.
Fitting.
Yes.
Cancerian.
And it was the best room. I miss that.
Sorry, Crab Lab.
Crab Lab. And so I was lucky to do my first gig in a room that actually had a big receptive kind of crowd. And it wasn't like I crushed or anything, but I got through it. It was fine. And
did you have an out-of-body experience, or did the adrenaline take over, or like what? Like,
yeah, it's terrifying.
Oh.
It's really terrifying, and the lights are really bright, and you can't really see people, and you don't know whether you're going to get through it. You don't know whether words are going to come out of your mouth. You do feel at the mercy of your senses. Like I could overload. That's how I felt. Like I could just faint or piss my pants on stage. Like they're the kind of things that were going through my head where you go, I don't know what will happen to me out there. But you just get through it, and you just say the words, and you kind of can barely remember it. And then you just step out of the light and you're like, what just happened? And then you're pulsing, and then you're like, let's get our drink.
I got to do it again.
And let's go. Yeah.
Have you ever done any crowd work where you're like, oh, I wish I didn't do that, or I was not expecting, or has there been an incident in the crowd where you're like, fuck, these lights are too bright and I maybe called upon the wrong person?
Yeah, definitely. Maybe last year, 2 years ago, let's say. So I would do this character called Teacher Tatum. Teacher Tatum, I'd do this very bad, it's meant to be kind of an Irish accent, who's a celebrity YouTube Hobbit chef. And I was doing stand-up, and I would just do like a little bit of like, hi, I'm Teeter Tatter, and you're watching my show, Teeters, Teeters, Teeters. And then it's just this weird, stupid thing. And if people are just listening to this, I should preface this by saying that I have red hair and I'm 44% Irish. Okay, it's the heritage. It's the motherland. So I'm doing this, but there was these three rowdy young guys in the audience, and then when I started going, okay, I do these impressions, and so I did one of Tater Totem, and it's a stupid gag. I'm going to stop explaining my jokes. I'm sorry about that.
I love it.
And so I was like, I'm Tater Totem, and you're watching Taters, 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 and then they're like, these 3 drunk guys turned out to be Irish.
Oh, shit.
And I'd already they'd been heckling the whole night, and I'd kind of made an example of them, like had some fun. I said, which I bet one of you thinks you could do stand-up. And then they all started laughing. And I go, one of you's fucking tried it, haven't you? I go, come on, get up. So I'd kind of roasted them, and then I did. So I should have known actually that they were Irish, well and truly.
Were they sunburnt?
Yeah, they were burnt to a crisp and they were fucking wasted.
Yeah, that's it.
And they were just being absolute menaces, but quite good-natured. Not really, actually. Anyway, I did taters, and they were like, wait a minute, you're a fucking racist.
Oh, no.
But kind of in a teasing way of doing the Irish accent.
But they're the R word.
Yeah, I know. You go, whoa. And my mum's partner is Irish.
Oh.
He's from Belfast, and so I was like, and I think they were just trying to get one up on me because there was just a bit of fun back and forth. But yeah, I nearly fell off stage when they said that. But then I doubled down. I just said, look at my hair. Come on. They're
my surname, you assholes.
You're talking about potatoes in an Irish accent. So they took me to town for that. And I was like, why did I do this? Because I did have the intel, but I shouldn't have been doing that. And I went home and I said to Sean, or I called my mum's partner afterwards, like, oh, Sean, I did my character Tater Totems. Is it really bad? Is this really inappropriate, doing an Irish accent? And he's like, no, it's not racist at all, because he's like, you're not doing an Irish accent. Anyway, I'm doing a bad one then again now, but he's like, it doesn't sound Irish. He's like, it's terrible.
You should have screamed out to the boys, now say it 3 times to be sure.
Sure. Anyway, God, that's a bit dark saying that, but that was terrifying.
Well, you're running off adrenaline, and then you're like, whoa, that just got shot at me. Like, what's my arsenal in this
and then
moment?
I just remember going, oh my God, was that really
what's
bad?
happening?
Yeah, what's happening? And then the other comic's like, no, they're just rallying you up.
I don't know, it's a wild thing. It's a wild thing for you being the star on the stage. It's a wild thing being in the audience. And I frequent shows. Like, I love my stand-up comedians. And I go to, like, I've got a real thing for the American male ranters.
A.K.A.
Like Tim Dillon. Tom Segura's not so much a ranter.
Yeah.
I've seen so many. Theo Von, I just loved. Like, saw him before COVID, Dark Arts Tour. I think I literally did wet my pants. But when I was at Tim Dillon at the Palais, I was sitting, and I went by myself because I'm a weirdo. I was sitting beside this guy who was shit-faced.
Yeah.
And he was just the whole night burping kebabs and beers.
Oh.
To the point where I had my jacket over my face.
Oh, no.
And he didn't even question it. And he just kept, like, nudging me, like, laughing. And he turned to me and he just belched. I thought I was going to spew.
Oh, my gosh.
On my lap. And there are times when...
Yuck.
The comedian, knowing now that the comedian can't see shit, right? But Tim Dillon's looking my way and I'm like, he can see.
He can see.
He can see what's happening. He knows.
He knows I'm a real fan.
He's probably thinking, what's going on with this chick? That was wild. And I went with my mate, Cam Saban, who was just on the pod as well.
Yeah.
We went and saw Duncan Trussell.
Who's Duncan Trussell?
I fucking love him. So people know him through Joe Rogan, of course. I think I heard him once on a Joe Rogan, but really became a fan when he released the Midnight Gospel. So he wrote this, wrote and starred in this incredible animated series on Netflix that came out during COVID.
Okay.
And I fucking love it. And he's like he's such a creator. He's a philosopher. And his show, which was at Thornbury.
Really? Thornbury, what, theatre?
Ballroom.
Ballroom, yeah.
It was wild.
That would be such just based off the other comics you were talking about, such a weird environment to see him in.
It was really weird. And he just went into this, we fell into a vortex with his humour of him talking about all the deaths in Disneyland. And it's so funny because I very love my dark humour.
Okay, yes.
And shout out to the comedian before him. His support act was an Aussie who, upon learning more about who he was and his journey, he's a cancer survivor. Kappa, his surname.
Oh, Nick Kappa.
Nick Kappa.
Oh, he's a friend. I love Nick Kappa.
Love the hair.
Yeah.
My natural hair, I feel like, is like his.
Yeah.
And it was very funny. It was really, I loved that. He was a very physical comedian. I think very like honest in his journey.
Nick
and
Kappa.
it's fucking great. Like, and so I'm all about this. Like, I can't wait for you to do another show. I've been blessed to see you twice last month, but because of me racing and you pursuing stand-up, I haven't been able to fully watch your journey in person, and I'm sad for that. I regret that, but there's nothing you can do when you're performing on the weekend and I'm fucking performing to fucking gum nuts in the middle of nowhere.
I wish I could have been able to be race side, track side.
No,
it goes back both ways.
You would have heard all sorts of shit being yelled out at me from spectators. They'd be like, well, that's not fair.
Hang on a minute.
Oh, yeah, it's the Wild West. But, but now I love that I can tune on to Triple R and hear you on the breakfast.
Yes.
Talk to me about what that's been like. How long have you been doing that and what's radio hosting like?
So it is, this is my third year.
Wow.
Yes. So I started in what year is it?
It's 2025. So 22?
Yeah.
Is my math okay?
Yeah, I know. 2022, 23, 24. Oh, no, I started in 2023. So 23, 24, and this is my third.
Gotcha.
Yep. So, and it hasn't been 3 years yet. So I used to go on through another comedian and do like a segment every now and then. And I became quite frequent during COVID where you just go in and talk about what's going on in your life. Kind of they pitched it as stand-up but on radio, sitting down or whatever. So I would go in and do that. And during COVID, I would do that pretty regularly. And then I would talk about some wild things like on air. But it kind of kept me sane. It was an outlet because I couldn't go out and be on stage. I did get over being at home and, I got over the initial relief of not having to do the festival. So it was great to have that outlet. And, it was just one of those things I did. And then for a couple of years, and again, it's something super lucky, but the type of thing where your name is just in the ring and just from doing things and doing stand-up out and about around Melbourne regularly. And I'd done lots of fill-ins, like you do the fake fasters when they have their break.
Okay.
And, I was lucky enough to get the call up to join the team. So it's 6 till 9, 5 days a week. And tell you what, the early mornings.
Yeah. The commitment.
Yeah. And the first year was so much fun, but like so nerve-wracking. I get very nervous.
Still?
Oh, yeah, still sometimes now, for sure.
Really, with all this experience?
But that you're covering so much in 3 hours. You're doing the news every half hour. You're talking about media. You're talking about whatever is happening that day. Then you're interviewing, an incredible artist or a writer, film reviews, books. It's so incredible, the people that you get to meet and speak with, and bands and musicians.
Oh, the music.
The music's incredible. And so it's a dream job, and the community and the listeners. But I guess from sometimes a creative point of view, you're just like, oh God, there's some days you're like, what have I got to add? You're like, I should shut my mouth is what I should do.
Well, no, I'm glad you don't, because this morning on the drive in I tuned in and I was exposed to some awesome music that I hadn't heard before. I love it when the presenters read out the names of the people that are renewing and subscribing. I just love that community. I love those shout outs. It's so important in times like this that we look in our own back garden and you're a very compassionate person. You're an amazing friend. You're always there for people. You've always been there for me.
Oh, that's beautiful.
When I've been down in the dumps. And, and I think there's so much power in tending to your community and the power of community radio. And I'm ashamed to admit I don't listen to a lot of radio, mainly because I'm not commuting for a job anymore.
Yeah.
Because I wound up a job earlier in the year, so I'm not doing my commute. And podcasts have kind of stole that spotlight. But I do love a good radio station. And this morning I learned something about you, that you're quite fond of sheds.
Oh, yeah. I mean, who isn't really?
You need a man shed,
Well, it was just more, I was listening to and going back to what you're saying as well about, I think because Triple R is completely independent. So it's funded by all the listeners. And
is that right?
Sponsorship, yep. So it's through that there is, presenters can play and say what they want. Like play the music that they want. It's not playlisted. It's not, they pick all of the tracks themselves from gigs that they've gone out and seen. It's broken so many artists, I think, like Amel and the Sniffers, Sampa the Great.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, were kind of first played on Triple R. They even played Wet Leg, was one of their first radio plays, like on Triple R. It's like the early adopters, the people who are out seeing these gigs, finding it, like without sounding like a wanker, the tastemakers, curating these shows for the love of it. And it's just something that you cannot find in Spotify anymore. Like I'm reading a book at the moment based off this, God, I'm going on so many rants.
I love it. Go.
This music journalist called Liz Pelly, who has been investigating Spotify and the people who started it, because there's kind of more backlash around Spotify at the moment because of the CEO like investing in weaponry companies and stuff like that.
Okay.
So, God, I'm talking about anyway. Never mind.
No,
but
really fascinating, like the power of radio.
Well, yeah, and just how much the algorithm is geared towards. Like, it's not geared towards discovery. It's been marketed in a certain way. If the artists who are on the Discover list, they've been asked to take less of a cut. Do you know what I mean? To be pumped into that playlist. And anyway, it's really fascinating. It's called. I'm blanking the name of the book.
No, but we can search the author.
Yeah, Liz Pelly. She's a journalist. Anyway, we interviewed her, and this idea of discovery and personal connection to music really is kind of being lost, and there is so much of that in Triple R. And this idea as well that these algorithms feed us more of the same thing. But it's actually really great to be exposed to something that wouldn't come up in your algorithm, but go, Dom heard that at a gig. I love Dom. Wow, I wouldn't typically have this, listen to this. But it's like, fuck, I'm glad I heard it. Or go, whoa, I didn't like that, but I might check out something else. And what we used to do when we could make tapes and CDs.
Oh, yes, mixtapes. Do you know who touched on this? I'm pretty sure it was Grimes.
Yeah.
When Lex Friedman interviewed Grimes, and she was like, it's so important to listen to new music.
Yeah.
She listens to new music constantly.
Yeah.
And neurologically, they say it's really important to listen to beats and tunes that you normally wouldn't, to mix it up.
Yeah.
Otherwise you do. And you're right. Look, everything in look, I'm so grateful for all these platforms like Spotify and like YouTube, but the algorithm skews us, and then the next thing, I'm watching conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm watching, because I watched one flat earther on YouTube and now I'm fucked.
I'm a flat earther.
So I got to break out of that, and careful what you follow on YouTube or Instagram, and then all of a sudden I've just got like squirrels' assholes on my feed for like a million years,
Yeah.
Anyway, that's where my brain goes,
you wake
by
up
the
and
way.
You're 70 and you go, what happened?
But I absolutely love what you're up to in your life, and where can we find Nat in the near future?
Yes. Well, I am on Triple R Monday to Friday, 102.7. Tune in, subscribe if you can. If any of my rant on Spotify and independent music, live music, live performance, not just music, resonates with you, get in there. And then Instagram, Nat is Dragon. And then keep an eye out for me, I guess. Comedy Festival will be rolling around. I'm always about Maybe I'm going to try get to Perth and Adelaide. We'll see.
Oh, the Wild West.
We'll
Pussy Willow.
Pussy Willow. And I guess to wrap things up as well, because I've gone on such
I appreciate
tangents, so many tangents with you, Dom. But I didn't start stand-up until, I guess, quite late.
Really?
You know? Well, yeah, and it was something I'd always done community radio, I'd always done performing, and I'd orbited in the comedy space and in community TV. But then I remember someone encouraging me to just try it, and I'm so grateful for that. They're like, just book it in and do it. And that's always my advice to anyone who's slightly interested. I go, well, if there's the intrigue there, then you got to fucking try it. But also as well, I didn't try it until after my dad died because it's so cliche and everyone says all this stuff, but then you just go, oh, near enough's not good enough, you know, in terms of, I was working behind the scene in TV or I was always on the periphery of doing creative things, kind of afraid to admit, you know, be cliche or whatever, be like, take up more space, or it's a very vulnerable position to put yourself in.
Totally.
And there was less avenues, I guess, to do that, you know, now. Back then, I guess, I'm talking like I was born in the 50s, but you know what I mean. But it wasn't. Well, social media and everything wasn't as prevalent. So
you're looking good.
Yeah, I'm looking good. Very dull. I was born in 1933. I guess to round it out, it was one of those things where I was like, oh, let's go for it.
So the impetus was John and chasing your dreams, would you say? Was that do you mean that as a correlation there? Like this kind of realization of how precious life is?
Exactly. And I never saw comedy as my dream. It was more, and I really rambled through it. That's maybe one of my, I know you shouldn't have regrets.
Chicken like,
yeah.
When you were like ramble through it,
oh my God, it's like, is this a personality test? It was, no, I did. I never went in with a game plan. I just was like, I want to try it because it's I was curious. I just followed curiosity, I guess. And then it wasn't until a fair few years into it that I was like, oh, I think I just kept doing it. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I should see what I can do with this. But I never went in going, this is my dream. I just thought, oh, fuck it, I'll give it a go.
Fascinating. That to me is so fascinating. And now you're hooked.
I'm absolutely hooked. And maybe it was a trick. Maybe it was a defense mechanism to be like, to not make the stakes, you know, be like, this is a dream. It's just like, oh, well, just do the next gig and go from there.
Speaking of gigs, do you know which gig I kind of want to round out the year?
What?
I'm in recovery, so I don't drink, drug or smoke, right? So the idea of me going to something that reminds me of the big day out at 40, doing this, is a bit overwhelming and scary, but it's fucking Tool. It's fucking garbage.
Oh, my God.
It's fucking Weezer. Holy shit.
Yes.
It's a Friday. I'm like
seen these posters. What's it called?
Something like So Good, but that's a soy milk. Like Good Festival. What is it again?
Well, I can't remember. But yes. Is it at where
so
is
it's at the showgrounds.
Oh my
it's a
God.
Friday. It's going to be December. It's going to be so spicy, but I can just do what I always did at Big Day Out. T-shirt, jorts.
Jorts.
I had always had a T-shirt, jorts, and a hat on. Boom. Shitloads of glitter on my face and sunscreen. I was just there for all of it.
Oh my!
I've got so many stories for another pod to go about music and all my tickets. But I'm like, I'm pretty sure these guys, remember when we went to Splendor in the Grass?
Oh my God, yes. TV on the radio, they're coming out. They played when we were at Splendor, I think.
Oh, it was huge. And Arctic Monkeys.
Yes.
And Lily Allen.
And Hot Chip.
It was just overload. We shared that
room, the hostel room with those guys. Counting out all their drugs and all their chopper chops.
I can't.
Do you girls mind if we counted our drugs? Well, I go for it. And then one of them came home early and was like coming down and like bearing his soul to us. I just really miss her. Or like it was. Do you remember that?
We were all on bunk beds.
Yeah, well, like,
on other planets,
Jeez, I
without
know.
implicating ourselves too much, but we were only 20
Yeah,
something.
something.
In these bunk beds. I just remember there being shitloads of sand always everywhere.
The beach.
And you don't want to be sharing a room with bunk beds with a bunch of dudes coming down and one toilet. And you can imagine the shit. That was the only festival I did where it was like, I have to go stay somewhere.
Yes.
And I was like, I can't. I'm
It's
too
too
much of a
much.
princess. I need my own space. I'm a bat, dumb bat.
Dumb bat.
She needs to go back in her own coffin. But yeah, they
me
were
back.
like fucking like. This guy was,
We need another
sorry,
episode on just that festival.
let's do it.
I know.
Oh, you know what? You never know. Friday the 5th,
Okay.
December.
December. We'll see you there.
I think I'm going to be alone, but hey, if you get on the door,
Oh, like Jason Moore.
yeah, shout out to your
Co-host Jason.
breakfaster. Oh my god, mate, get on the door.
Get on
and
the
I'll
door.
see you at Tool.
You're not on the door.
Dragon, Nat Harris, what an absolute delight. You really are you radiate laughs, joy, community. You're a beautiful friend. You're a beautiful soul. I can't wait for you to continue to light up my fucking phone with all your funniness and light up the stage sometime soon. Thank you so much for joining me on Dom Pod.
You're the best. Thanks, Dom. Love you.
Wormy out.
Yes. Rah.